most of those would have the county road access already.
So you would have one, like, a culvert at the main entrance, you would have one culvert at the main entrance, but would you have any on the additional county roads, or no?
You've got four lots on facing the county road. They mean,
Those will need to apply to the county regulations to install culverts.
We could also set the 60-foot wide easement, so that way we cover all grounds for any utilities, any drainage that may be required. We wanted to go larger to 60 just in case.
What water district is that?
Water district.
Water district.
Well, have they granted that many caps?
There are some existing wells already on the land itself. So if the water district is not able to service that, then we can install wells.
Any restrictions on the property?
We intend to have very light restrictions on the property. So for example, no junk cars, no junk yards, no industrial use, no commercial use, mostly for residential and ranching.
But if I understand correctly, Bonnie, that's gonna be up to them.
Oh, yeah.
That's nothing we have.
We don't control that.
As a matter of fact, we don't have anything to do with whether the water gets out there for one.
No.
That's up to
And I
them.
understand all that.
Our only thought would be what it would, how it would play into Limestone County, and if you're telling me that y'all are gonna provide, you're gonna pay for the road, it's gonna be a private road in there, I don't know what our concern would be. Gary, do you see any reason not to do this?
as long as they go by our rules when they tie into the road, that's
Good news, Limestone County is you put 15 new nice homes out there, we get more money now.
sorry.
15 travel trailers.
15 trailers would be, more money.
I've already heard about it from like my head, really, started the RV part.
But there again, I think it's his property, he can cut up as long as he meets our.
So there won't be any access from the main highway from Overton?
She didn't call me.
No, not Highway 14. It's just a county
Here,
road.
I guess on that, going up to the east a little bit on 469, we're gonna put that easement.
Yeah, there's actually another property between the highway and their property.
Correct. I believe our property is not touching Highway 14.
No.
Yeah.
It does, this Highway 14 or 13.
I'm assuming the property's in ag right now,
That is correct.
so it's gonna come out of ag once y'all split this up.
We are aware of that.
Well, it has, they each have at least 3 acres, and the tracks that do have the 3 acres can maintain ag if the people choose. Anything below 3 acres won't qualify for ag.
We've got some on here that are below 3 acres.
Once again, the bottom line is we're no worse off than we are right now.
I move that we approve the request for Mr. Guy to buy properties in the plat.
Second.
Motion is second, any other discussion, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. We'll move along now to,
Sir, we request their signatures on it. We intend to record it to the county clerk.
Yeah.
I believe we have a signature line for the commissioner, for the.
we'll make sure that we get that done, as soon as the meeting's over.
Oh, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is going to be local agreement between Limestone County and Falls County. This is for the detention of their inmates. It's pretty standard. I think, Murray, have you seen this one?
So before the, for it was reviewed.
This one's actually $50 a day, correct?
Correct.
What's your thoughts about signing this and keeping their detainees whomever?
What we were getting last year.
I don't know.
Falls County, we hadn't been into one every year. What they're trying to do is trying to get it where when they do have overflow, they already have contracts in place. It's pretty standard now. Lots of counties will do it where they do interlocals with other counties so that they can move their inmates as needed throughout the year.
They're responsible for all transportation to and from.
Should be, yes, sir, that, and anything over 6 hours or something in the ER or something like that, they come in or they reimburse.
I move we approve the agreement from Falls County and Knoxville County for detention services.
I'll second
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Okay, that motion will pass. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. This will be the agreement from Limestone County and Freestone County. This is one that's a little more, not necessarily closer to home, but one we have quite a few of their inmates. And so I'm going to talk to Linda Grant. We're currently at $40 an hour. We recommended we go to $42 an hour. Yeah. That's below what some of them, but we've always tried to do what we could for Freestone, good neighbors. I also raised the guard rate up to $25 an hour. Whenever they're sitting with because we were below what we were paying our guard, so I raised that up also. So anyway, it's the same kind of interlocal agreement with Freestone County on their inmates. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a pretty good deal if we get $42 an hour.
$40 a day. I'm in a day.
I move we approve the interlocal agreement between Knoxville and Freestone County for detention services.
Motion is second, any other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you very much. All righty, let's go ahead and. We're going really fast. I hate to ask y'all to split it with parties too long. This is not going to take all that long. The next item that we have is a amendment to the tax abatement agreement in Knoxville County Prairie Field Wind Farm. What this is they tried to stall us on about almost a year, which cut us out of one of our budget periods for the money we were getting on the Prairie Hill Wind Farm, the first one. So what they did was I got them to agree that they will pay. They just got to be paying us for this year, which they didn't have to pay us till December, but then they're going to start paying us in the first quarter of every year. So this is just an amendment so that we're all on the same page as that. Once again, we just got our 515, and what will happen is before the end of March next year, we'll be up to 515. And that way we make sure that we have that money in each one of our budget line items. So I need to get this additional done.
Change our dates on the agreement.
Okay, a motion,
I'll second.
and a second, any other discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the next item is a release of damages. This is primarily something that National Valley has asked us to sign. It's basically an easement where they came across the road to our county fairgrounds. They need our permission to make sure that they can work on that frontage there to get the electricity to the new alarming spots that we have.
Access. Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion on this? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That'll pass. Most important thing that we'll do today is the 2022-23 holiday schedule. I know Commissioner Forrest wanted to delete 10 of these. Y'all, I hope y'all look at these. These are basically the same we had last year. I think they one mistake. And we'll get that corrected. So that's what we do today. Observed. So, with y'all's permission, we'll go ahead and go forward with the holiday schedule.
I move to approve the 2022 holiday schedule.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Let's authorize the auditor to office of public elected official salaries. This is something we have to do every year, so any public official within the county, we have to put in the paper how much we're making. So we should have a good figure on that. Between the cost and you understand about it. What's that?
This is just the elected officials, and this is with y'all doing the 5%. So once this is published.
But we can't talk about it today,
Yes,
and then
yes, we can talk about it today and everything. If you decide to make changes and do something other than the 5%, then I will change these amounts and, but once I get this published, it has to run for, 10 days before we can approve the budget, or no longer than 30 days.
chances are good we're gonna have to call a meeting, so we may put this on the agenda. But nonetheless, we don't necessarily have to take action right now.
No, all this is just giving us the authority to, once you've approved everything, to go ahead and publish it.
Well, the motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? I may have made a egregious mistake. I don't see it on here. Oh, no, let's go ahead and move out to number 19. Let's go ahead and take a motion, if you don't mind, to move to the table the fuel and sand bid. Make a motion for that. Number 19. You have a motion?
I'd like to go to
We have removed from the table. We actually tabled this, so I need a motion to remove it from the table. So motion in a second, any other discussion on fair say aye. Now then, let's go ahead and talk about the table bid for fuel and sand. Gary, I'm hoping that you met with the folks down in Costi, how we looking on that. They were the only bid that we did get.
I went and took 2 samples and took them to Brian and Brian's, to their lab, and tested them, and 1 sample was way too coarse, it won't hold the oil, it crawled all over the roads. The second sample was way too fine.
Way too fine.
Yeah, they could pack it in, and you didn't have it fine. He said it just wouldn't hold.
Okay, so your recommendation is that we not take any action on that bid?
Yeah, I agree.
And that being the case, is there any other discussion on this? We'll move on to taking action. I guess we'll go out and rebid the sand bid.
Judge, it's we use under $50,000 worth of sand, and we not just buy the best emerging equipment without accepting.
That's
any
fine.
bid on
All
sand.
we're doing is trying to make sure that we lock in a good price. So we could buy the sand, but I mean, we want anybody that's interested in selling the sand to have the sand that we need, so. Anyway, take no action on the sand bid, or I don't even think we need to go back out for bid, because no one bid it. So, let's go ahead and just let that lay, and we'll go into the fuel. I did put a copy of the 2 emails I got back from both of the people that bid. That was Fikes and Petroleum. They both said that they would honor up to those additional gallons with the bid that they submitted. When I went through and looked and called and talked to both these people, I found out that the fuel is based on about 12 companies over in Waco that distribute fuel. And basically what they do is they go on an average price is how they sell it to us. The one company said that they would give us we saw it as a negative on their bid, but it was a half of 1 cent of the average. Petroleum says that they use the average or lower. And so we could get it lower from them. So my recommendation, and the deliveries are basically the same. My recommendation is that we stay with Petroleum. That's who we have right now. I mean, Fikes who we have right now. Petroleum is the other. I'm recommending that we stay with Fikes. That's what we have right now.
So we went from 60 to 75,000, right?
Yeah, we have to be doing that. But anyway,
So it's 25,000.
additional increase.
We're 60 million. I'll make a motion that we agree with that.
Yes.
Patrol.
And in all fairness, we have a motion, let's go ahead and have a second. Huh? What's it? We have a motion, we have a second. And a second, now let's have some discussion. Let's make sure we understand one thing, the cost of fuel went up, but the gallon may not have gone up. So that's one thing I want to make sure that we understood. Now, we got way more gallons for the same bid, but y'all understand, there's no reason to think we're gonna spend that many more gallons, and may spend that much more money, but anyway. I have a motion and a second, any other discussion on this item?
The motion was to set Fikes. Who we currently have.
That's what we currently have.
For,
And they're going to increase, they're going to,
for fuel and diesel.
Yes.
Okay.
and they're going to increase the number of gallons, not saying we have to use that to 25,000 on the diesel and 15 on the gas.
Yes, that's how many more gallons that they're gonna give us for that same bid. And you understand the bid is just what the rack price is, right?
Because
So whatever the 12 people, when they get together, one of them's $1, one of them's $2, they're at $1.50. Got a motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Hey, Judge Duncan. Is it right to speak?
Who is?
Mike.
I
just want to comment.
Well, since, yes, I'll let you speak, go ahead, sir.
I just would like to get a sample of what you guys are using now. I've asked for about twice 100 grams. It sounds like it's gonna have to be processed, is what it sounds like to me. Is that possible to get?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
That'd be easy, Jerry, there's no problem with that, no problem. Yeah, we'll get that to you right away.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go ahead and, jump back up to item number, 15. That's the classification of surplus vehicles for the county. I gave you all a list of all the vehicles, from the sheriff's department, and also I got a list from Jerry on, vehicles and information on things that might be, to be sold. There's quite a list, to be honest with you. I think we had, at least, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vehicles, and I think there's more than that that can be sold out of the law enforcement, but at least 6 there. And then as y'all saw, we had a, shredders, backhoes, Mack truck, Freightliner truck, McCormick tractors, Massey Ferguson tractor, rollers. These are items that can be, now a roller is something that's surprising. Jerry talked to me about that.
This is an older.
It doesn't work.
That every time we take out something breaks on, it just,
That's something I was hoping we could use on our roads, but you're saying it's broke.
No.
And we do have another roller that we use.
yes, sir, we got 2 more that we do.
Anyway, main thing I wanted to do is to visit with y'all, and of course, there'll be also some more tractors once we get the new tractors in. But I wanted to show y'all that we do have, maybe 12 to 15 things that we probably could sell from the county. But you sit here, and a lot of them are actually paying insurance on. We really haven't paid that insurance. Y'all want to talk about this at any length?
Are these vehicles that aren't being used, you're saying?
You talking?
You, Jerry.
Me? Well, or
Larry, I mean,
if Murray's the one
you
that,
have a list. I just wanted to know which ones are actually not being used and which ones can be sold.
We have a list of 6, actually 7, that are ready to sell. We just have to have them stripped down. In order to sell them, we can't sell them where they look like a police vehicle. So we just have to get those stripped down. We have 7 of them that we're ready to sell. Just simply are taking part of it. And then if we are able to get new vehicles this budget, we'll have 2 or 3 there to sell.
And it says it open, I'm assuming that there's not anyone.
Those are the 3 open positions, on the deputies right now. I also have 1 that we interviewed yesterday that we may be hiring a deputy for there.
we also have a vehicle in the, CID. It's open.
What you have as an open vehicle in CID judge will actually be Mayfield's vehicle whenever he's removed from patrol. He's doing kind of a dual position right now. He's still on patrol because we're short, but he's also filling in. He's working kind of a swing shift, but he's doing some investigation also. So he's in a March unit, but we will move him back to the CID vehicle with another officer in the March unit.
But let's just be clear, I've got Mayfield down. That's the reason I did it this way, because sometimes it gets where we don't know what. I've actually got Mayfield in the vehicle.
Yes, sir, but he's in a March unit, in the Tahoe, as a March unit, and you have him under the CID side of it, but he's a patrol vehicle.
Okay, it doesn't matter to me, Murray. What I didn't do was I just did vehicles
Yes, sir.
and tried to put people with vehicles.
Yes, sir.
I don't have Mayfield on this side over here.
That's because you have him under the investigation vehicles.
What does that have to do? What does that have to do with the vehicle?
Well, you just said that there's an open CID vehicle.
Yeah, they're,
They're-
09C1.
Yes, sir. As soon as Mayfield is removed fully from patrol, that will be the vehicle he goes to. That is an
And then,
unmarked
and then
vehicle.
20C2 will go back over here to
And
one.
we'll go back to the patrol side. Yes, sir.
The only point I'm trying to show the commissioner, sir, is that we have 4 vehicles. That don't, well, no matter where they go, we have 4 vehicles that are open. That's all I was trying to show.
Yes, sir.
So that,
And I've got 3 openings, and I've got 1 officer that's still on medical from the road. And that's those 4 vehicles.
so Murray, the 2020 would go back over to the patrol
Patrol
side.
side, yes, sir. It's a marked unit, it's one of the regular patrol units. CID mostly is driving vehicles right now that are either the old Tahoes that we use or pickups. And that's some of the stuff we're trying to phase out because they are 2009 models. But that's whenever he goes to full-time investigations, that's what he goes to.
But there's only one 2009 vehicle.
What is the Toyota here?
That's a seizure car that we see several years ago. And it had been used off and on for different purposes. It was Corolla, yes. It's been used for narcotics, it's been used for front office, it's been used for all different purposes, but it's ready, so.
Okay. This may be just FYI information on this particular agenda item, just to let y'all know that we do have these. And I don't think Murray's disputing, since he gave me this information, these are the vehicles he's ready to send to auction, basically. We'll have to pay to have someone take that stuff off of there probably, but, that's not the end of the world, I don't think. Some of these don't have it.
We may also have a few seized trailers that are in the impound. We'd be able to sell at the same time.
So on the second page of all the ones that are ready to sell, right?
Yes, well, you get that one where you're on the first page, on the second page, and then we have 4. There's a Polaris there that I didn't know where it was. I found out it's at the sheriff's department. And then there's a couple other vehicles here that were paying insurance on, but I couldn't figure out what they were. Anyway, I'm trying to get them to find out.
The 3 that you were unaware of, but we talked about, the one Dodge Charger is in the impound yard. That was one of our old vehicles that was given to the courthouse for the DA's use. And it was returned, it broke down. It's ready to sell. The 2011 Chevy Tahoe, that was one of our old patrol vehicles, that was given to the IT department that you have in your office. And then the Polaris SUV was another seizure that we issued to the fairgrounds.
What's the orange?
The red truck is also the same truck that's listed in the jail. That's the trash truck, the 2007 Ford truck.
And this is
The same truck, the red truck and the 2007.
2007?
Yes, sir. They're the same truck. It's used there. It's used to take all the trash and they dump from the jail out to the dumpsters. And that's the only place to go.
And that's really an area that I was gonna talk to y'all about, is how many extra trucks we have, vehicles we have at the jail. We got quite a few there. But anyway,
Is the van the transport van?
That, I believe those vehicles in the jail, the 2021 van, or the 2020 van, that was one we bought out of commissary a couple of years ago. Worked with the court on that. The newest one also, we bought out of commissary money. Neither one of those were bought by the county, they were both bought by the inmates, used solely for the inmates. The other vehicles are older patrol vehicles, and what happens not unusual. Like, I was talking to one of the commissioners the other day. One time we had one inmate in the hospital in Waco. We had the officers over there with them. We have inmates we're taking to dialysis in Bryan College Station 3-4 days a week. That's 6 hours each time. That's another vehicle down there. We also use the vehicles transporting back and forth to court. And then whenever you take inmates back and forth to PDC, there's times you have 4 or 5 officers on the road. Sometimes you don't.
But we're probably not using a 2007 truck and a 2007 Ford truck to do that. So I was wondering, would those not be two vehicles that we could look at adding to our list?
Those aren't used. Actually, one of those right now is being used by one of the officers trying to go to the academy so we can get them back to work in the jail.
Say that again?
One of them, the officer's driving back and forth to an academy in Waco.
We're paying for that?
He's an employee and he's using the county truck to drive back and forth to Waco.
Sounds, okay, we'll talk about that every time, but I didn't know we did that. We pay for someone to go to the academy. We pay their vehicle and gas.
When they're jailed, yes, sir.
I didn't know that. All right, well, anyway, we can go, on. This may just be more, I don't see any action that we're gonna actually take today. Maybe we can discuss this in further lengths, but definitely have some vehicles. Would y'all want to try to put all this, or okay the sale of what we've got right now? And maybe use, we always make good luck with Jerry Kennedy. Maybe get him to get this stuff on his lot and try to see what we can get for it.
The items that we have listed right now from the road and bridge, I believe there's 7 of those. And then the surplus vehicles that you listed out, I would suggest that we go ahead and authorize to put those in Jerry Kennedy for auction.
Second. Do you have a motion and a second? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? They'll pass. Let's go ahead again and, this is going to be an addendum to our Limestone County employee, handbook guideline. This is under the, discuss the addendum, regarding meals, expense, and traveling. One of the things that we did is we were coming up with these guidelines. We really were having some trouble out of basically the jail, sending people just over into Palestine. They were sometimes getting a breakfast and a lunch off of us, as long as about 16 miles over there, so they were pleasant. The bottom line was, I said, we took that 60 miles in there to keep us from having to pay for the planets where they didn't have to come off the county. However, it hurt when we did have people that were going to Waco to training, all day training over there. So basically, the only thing they could do is drive all the way back and drive back over there. So I went ahead and made it to where included the line here where it says this does not apply to school or training that occurs within the 60 miles. So I'd like to change that. Limestone County employee handbook with that agenda, please.
So that's the only change from
That's the only change.
Is that one sentence?
The one sentence.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're gonna do some, some transfers. The first is discuss approve the budget transfer 578 for the Limestone County Fair Mills. This is going to be to cover our temporary help out there. Ken, if you want to address this, I know it's still on Bruce, kind of getting over their hours, close to it.
Yes, sir. Well, we've had her at the same level for several years, and to keep me from running up too many comp hours, you and I talked about her working some more hours, and therefore we're running short, hours in her line.
Well, what we're doing is we're taking this out of our contingency
contingency, and putting $1,200 in temporary help. What's your pleasure on that? Do you have a motion? Second. And a second, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Next item is going to be a budget transfer from the sheriff's office to cover vehicle maintenance, ammo, expenditures, and vehicle equipment. Looks like $8,750 that we're decreasing from the telephone line and also from radio equipment line. And we're moving that money around to, what are these additional repairs that we don't already have for the vehicle?
In the vehicle line, we've got 2 transmissions and 2 motors in the last month and a half on our 2018 motor vehicles. Which we kind of anticipated, it's about $3,000 every time you do a transmission.
And which
And the
vehicles,
motors can go up from there.
and which vehicles are those?
18C1, 18C7, I don't remember the other numbers off the top of my head. 18C,
18C1?
I believe so, I think that was motor and transmission actually. 18C7 has a motor issue, also had a transmission fix, motor has not been fixed yet.
And that's 18C7?
Yes, sir.
And that one had a transmission?
Yes, sir. We've got one right now that's waiting to be fixed, if we didn't have the money in the budget, that's a 2015, or which, 2012, 2015, it's one CID vehicle, there's an oil pump that we know of, and maybe some other issues, that's another costly expense.
Do we do budget money every year for these expenses?
Yes, sir, we just,
So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
They were budgeted 50,000.
budgeted 50,000, and, you know, you start getting $3,000 pop on repairs, it doesn't take long to go through, we've made it all the way up till now, without having to transfer money into that line, I think we've been doing a good job on that part of it.
I make a motion that we transfer the money to get the vehicles repaired.
Have a motion and a second. Now, more discussion, please. Motor vehicle equipment, what are we buying for $3,500?
We're buying fire extinguishers
Fire extinguisher.
to put into all patrol vehicles and the jail transport vehicles.
Okay, we
So
have a
that if
motion.
there is an issue with fire extinguishers.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. So we're gonna go down to, item number 20. And that's gonna be a request that actually came, I guess it came from John Deere. John Deere is asking that we approve the tractors and shredders, from Sourcewell versus the actual buy board. Josh, does this make sense to you? And they gave us a discount, on the tractors of about $840 a piece by doing this. Anyway, it's kind of a no-brainer here, so we don't care. Sourcewell is okay to buy them from without having to go out for bid, so we're still good, right? All right. then.
Because this is with the ARPA money, we have to have it, you know,
Okay,
change the motion and everything
all right.
to use source most of the time.
I make a motion that we use Sourcewell from buy board instead of buy board to buy the spreaders. Just from John Deere.
You have a motion? And we have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? It is 9:38. At this time, we're going to go into the executive session and talk about some personnel matters. Pursuant to chapter 55107 of the Texas Government Code regarding personnel matters, which can be in terms of Texas Open Meeting Act. We'll talk about this question for a little while and we'll be back with you. Sorry, guys. We'll try to get that signed and get you on your road here.